سبحان فالق الإصباح.
Allahu Akbar!
Ding dong. Hello?
Yes, that's right, infidels. You found us here, channelattitude.com, Hameen Media Group, where you get the most real talk, the best reviews of all your favorite wrestling shows from AEW and WWE, Impact, and more, because we're going to break it all down with the best staff in professional wrestling at HMG. So you don't need to go anywhere else, because there's no 5 stars here. There's only $5 face slaps, infidel.
Allahu Akbar!
So sign up today, channelattitude.com, Hameen Media Group, and join the Hameen Army for the most real talk in professional wrestling. YOLO!
This is Channel Attitude. Your voice, your right, your freedom.
Just come outside for the night. Yeah. Take your time, get your life. Let it
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the WrestleMania post-game show, night 2, that is, WrestleMania 41, of course. I am your host, Jimmy T. He is my co-host, Scotty the Body Woodford, and we are live on Hameen Media Group's YouTube channel and, of course, channelattitude.com after the fact. Scotty, thank you for joining me, man. It's an absolute pleasure having you on. We tried to have you on initially on night 1, but unfortunately, the internet just wasn't happening. And then I saw when you sent me a message that you still, after we finished the show, dude, you still didn't even get home. Yeah, I mean, how long did it take you to get home?
About an hour.
Damn, that's crazy, dude. That is crazy. I mean, was there that many people like just trying to get Ubers and shit?
Yes, there was a lot of people just trying to get that.
It's funny because I'm looking at the chat. And I think they've never, a few people have never seen you before. They're like, oh, what? Like the artist is saying, what? Scotty's got a face? Revamp is saying toothless aggression. I mean, everyone's pumped to see you, man. And I'll acknowledge you guys in the chat in a moment. But, man, before we get into, of course, night 2, we're here to talk about that. I did do a watch along about night 2 with the vet, RBV, and, of course, Brandon. And, I pretty much gave my thoughts. We all gave our thoughts, like, basically on that show. So go check that out. But we're going to do a night 2 review show right after that. But, man, with that finish, I was totally gassed. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, that finish was BS. I'm dead serious. This BS to use Travis fucking Scott.
Dude.
Who's like...
this? No, so continue, Scott. Go for it.
Travis fucking Scott, who has no business being in the wrestling business. He's a fan, I understand, and he's a name, but he has no business getting involved at all.
Well, you know what the bad thing is? I don't know if you checked out the post-show, the press conference with WWE, of course, with Triple H and whatnot, but it seems like he's going to be around for a few more weeks, it seems. That's the impression I got from Triple H anyway.
Yeah, I think he needs to read the room on this one and be like, okay, we need to scrap this.
He's the most uncoordinated dude I've ever seen that's tried to wrestle. I mean, did you see even with the Crossroads?
Yes,
I don't know if you noticed this.
Well.
Oh, not only did he not take it well, but you could see. I don't know if you noticed it because you were there, so you probably didn't. But it looked like he's trying to tell Cody, "Go do it, do it, do it." You know what I mean? Hurry up and do it, and he did it. But it just looked so awkward, man. And I was expecting The Rock at first. Even when I heard the Fiend song start hitting, I'm thinking surely The Rock's going to come out. But no, unfortunately for Cody, Cody loses not just only to friggin' John Cena, but a real uncoordinated Travis Scott. I mean, it just doesn't sit well with me.
I could have booked the ending better. What they should have done is had John Cena put the $1 Million Dream on Cody, and Cody passes out.
It's bizarre. Look,
old school, because it's.
I feel you, man. I mean, look, I'm happy that Cena won. Don't get me wrong. I actually picked Cena to win, but only because it makes things interesting now with going forward. But the only thing I'm concerned about, does this mean Cody could be getting into a program with Travis Scott? It feels like something's going to go down.
Well, since they're actually friends in real life, probably.
Oh, boy, man. Well, before we get into night two, I just want to ask you a few questions about night one since you were there. What stood out for you about night one?
What stood out for me night one, that the last match was really, really good for a triple threat match.
100%.
And
actually, as a matter of fact, that was better than the main event yesterday.
Yeah. And then Jacob Fatu, he's something else. Seeing him live is very something else.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah, because
I mean,
the crowd was so into him too.
I could imagine. I mean, Joe Hendry especially too, man. He probably got the loudest pop last night. Like, yeah, I think he did. I mean, some people say others. Who got the loudest pop? They were saying maybe Cena and whatnot, but I actually think that it was Joe Hendry by far. I mean, the shock on everybody's face.
It was a tie from me hearing. It was a tie between Joe Hendry and Becky Lynch.
Oh, Becky got a loud pop too, for sure.
Sure.
Definitely. I mean, that was obvious.
Yeah.
But anyway, what were you going to say, Scott? Sorry, man, for cutting you off.
Oh, I was just saying that it was basically a tie between Becky Lynch and Joe Hendry from where I was sitting.
Where were you based? Like, were you far away from the front or relatively close?
I was kind of where they have it seated. I was like on a riser area for like the handicap accessible area, but it was like not like the greatest view, but I could still see the match if people weren't standing up in front of me and
that would get annoying.
That they weren't supposed to be.
I mean, shit. I've been to a few Stadium WWE shows before, and one time I had nosebleeds, right? And that was the worst. Like, nosebleeds, like looking down, like, and it just looks like a little friggin'. It's different when it's in an arena. You can be anywhere, and it kind of looks decent. But in the stadium, man. But at the end of the day, though, it's Mania. I wouldn't care where I'm sitting. But you must have, dropped a lot of cash, dude, for just being there 2 nights.
Well, that was like, for the tickets I got was like $2,000 for both nights.
Shit. No shit. So $2,000 for both nights.
Yep.
Wow. And usually, just say in the past, with the usual area that you probably sit in, what would be the price difference?
So if I decided to go like upper, I probably would have saved about 1,200.
Shit.
But I wanted to be on the lower level just to experience. And of course, I went and had that photo with O'Shea Jackson Jr.
Yeah, I saw that. That was cool, man.
We talked about how BS Paul Heyman teaming up with Seth Rollins is because it makes no fucking sense.
Well, the truth is it doesn't make sense, but I actually predicted that. I said that's what was going to happen, and it happened. And really, when you break it down, it doesn't really make sense other than the favor, right? But, I mean, where does it go? Like, where do you go from here? Really, Rollins doesn't need a mic guy like Heyman, for example. But neither does any of these guys, to be fair. That none of them needed Heyman, except for maybe Reigns. I feel like the pairing between Reigns and Heyman just fits. Do you know what I mean? Whereas the other two completely do not need Heyman at all. But it is what it is. I am intrigued to see where this goes. And to be honest, I'm looking forward to Raw tonight. I mean, I can't wait. But I don't know where they're going to go from here.
I don't know either, but I do have a feeling that at some point that Roman and CM Punk is going to try to take out Seth Rollins together.
I don't mean to laugh because I should go. But then who does Rollins team up with?
Oh, who knows? If they could bring someone in and...
Well, I'm looking at the chat right now, and Lattice Returns, thank you for joining us, by the way, brother, saying, well, maybe Rollins was playing Heyman, and he was to wallow back to Roman for forgiveness. I could see that too. No, it's not going to be Mark's artist. Sorry, Scotty?
Oh, I said I can see that happening too.
With Marks?
No, like the Heyman crawling back as he was used by Rollins.
Oh, 100%. That's going to be the end game, probably. 100%. But we'll see. But before we move on, I will like to acknowledge the chat because, first of all, it is Frank Pickles Barrel's ass saying, yo, did you know he's got the biggest ass of all the pickle barrels? Oh, Jesus. Kenny F. and Powers in the house saying, hi, Jimmy T and Scotty. Jimmy, don't ever visit the state where Liz lives. She is going to have her knives ready for you after how many times he spoiled things, he's being ahead half a minute. Yeah, what was up with that, man? I'm all the way down under, right? We're all doing the watch along. You know, all the boys in the US and girls, of course, are watching it via Peacock. I'm watching it via Netflix. And yeah, I kind of spoiled a few things, right? I mean, shit. When Joe Hendry came out, especially, I got excited. I'm like, say his name, and here appears. And everyone's like, oh, thanks, Jimmy. Blah, blah, blah. Everyone's giving me heat. But what can I do? What can I do? I shouldn't even be ahead by that much, to be fair. I'm like, man, you guys are in the States. I'm in Australia. How the fuck am I ahead? You know what I mean? But for whatever reason...
Well, I live in the States, and I use the VPNs to watch all the things on Netflix now.
Well, yeah. Well, you should, actually, as a matter of fact. But to be honest, man, there's no reason. No one was watching from illegal sites. That's the thing. So... the fact that I was ahead by that much, kind of weird, dude.
So who's else in the chat?
Yeah, I was just checking
Jerome
right now.
Hall.
Next, we got Jerome Hall. Thank you for joining us, brother. Yalla. I already mentioned the artist return. We've also got it is my favorite cold, warm-blooded person.
Can I do it? It's cold-blooded.
Yeah, cold-blooded. He's in the house. We've also got, I mean, I call him all sorts of things these days, but...
he is the master and ruler of the world. Stat Boy Vicious.
Stat Boy. In other words, thank you, Zane, for joining us. Who else is in the house? We got Revamped Wrestling in the house saying toothless aggression. Well, you are Canadian, aren't you, Revamp? God damn it. I know he's referring to you, obviously.
Yep.
Scotty. But don't worry about Revamped. But is anyone else that I'm missing? Oh, wait a minute. Unrealistic Cliff Burton's in the house saying morning. Morning to you, Cliffy. And yeah, that's about it for now. Oh, and of course, Nissan Texas saying Triple H proved the mark's right. Fans should enjoy Mania. Yeah. But he's also a walking, talking contradiction, shall I say, if you know what I'm saying. I mean, he kind of, he says shit like, we don't check the internet. We don't say nothing or see anything, but you do check the internet because you continuously talk about it. So I don't know, man. That's just me. It is what it is. But thank you, This Ain't Texas, for joining us. But anyway, let's get into night 2. Was there anything else that stood out about night 1 while I get my notes up, Scott?
Not really. Just the crowd was. I think a lot of it, like the celebration for Jimmy Uso, really got the crowd really tired because it seemed like it was
Really?
going
You
on for
think
like
so?
10 minutes.
Too much yeeting?
Yep.
I mean, are you happy for him that he won the championship, in your opinion?
Yes, but I don't see it being a long reign at all.
Neither do I, man. Don't be surprised. Look, it won't happen, but do not be surprised if he ended up losing it tonight on Raw somehow.
To Braun Breaker.
But why would he be number one contender?
That's what WWE seems to do no matter what, who's in charge. They do that sometimes.
Yeah, but I don't like it, man.
Yeah.
I don't like, you can't just do that, man, for no reason. Fair enough if there's some sort of tournament or whatever, but come on. I mean, let's be real,
Well, you
man.
got to realize Braun Baker did beat him to get the IC title back.
I get that, but for World Championship, look, Gunther's apparently really angry. I can see him getting the first shot right off the bat. And if he does, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he does win. I don't actually like the fact that he tapped out like Gunther, dude. That was ridiculous to me.
Yeah, that's another bad thing. Shouldn't do that ever with Gunther.
Ridiculous, man. But anyway, let's get into night 2, shall we? And we start off actually with Bianca Belair versus Iyo Sky and Rhea Ripley for the WWE Women's World Championship. Iyo Sky is your champion. I'm not going to break down this match because we pretty much all broke it down live on the watch along, all four of us. So I'm going to move along pretty quick. But basically Iyo Sky retains. Were you surprised?
No, I wasn't, because it was really half and half between Rhea Ripley and Iyo Sky in the area that
That's
I was
true.
sitting in. But no one wanted
Sorry, Scott.
Bianca to win. So
yeah, but did you notice Bianca got a lot of boos, man? She was getting booed
got
out of
a
the
lot
building.
boos.
Does she deserve that sort of heat? And not that I know her personally, but knowing her character and just her, the way she seems
I
to
think
act.
it's more about the character, that she's like the female Super Cena.
Yeah,
And
I
people
mean,
do not
who's
wanna see
worse
that.
though? Rhea is more like a Super Cena even compared to Bianca Belair, in my opinion.
Well, I think Bianca needs to add more layers to her character. Because
Yeah.
she doesn't get angry when she should.
Yeah, you know
Like-
what?
like
You're
in-
right,
like-
dude.
In like storylines, she never gets angry. She can do the crying thing, but she needs to get like angry a little bit and just go off on someone every so often, not just like during the match where she use her hair as a whip.
I get it. Really her character, the whole thing with the EST thing and all that, that's very much a heel, to be honest.
Yes.
A baby face doesn't say I'm the best, I'm the easiest, I'm the sluttiest. I'm just using anything with EST as an example. But I'm just saying, like, a baby face doesn't usually use those type of words. But if I were her, you're right. Get angry, man, because I've never seen that in her, actually. I've never actually seen her get really angry. I only see her crying, basically. Hopefully she does move on to, on becoming a heel. The only thing is she's held in high esteem, especially in the African-American community, and she does a lot for everybody. I'm not sure if WWE will pull the trigger right off the bat, but they should.
They could easily do that where she doesn't turn on the African American community, use that as she's like, I'm doing it for the culture.
Right. And I get that. I totally get that. But she looked fine, though, man. What
Yeah,
she was wearing, she looked like fire.
No, all three of those ladies put on a hell of a show. I think that might have been the match of the night.
On night 2?
Yes.
More than likely, but
That should
I'll see.
For me, that could have easily ended the show.
yeah, I'll agree with you. I mean, the women could have absolutely main evented, but nevertheless, Iyo Sky does retain and wins via pinfall with a diving moonsault onto Bianca Belair, which surprises me, retaining the WWE Women's World Championship. And like I said, if you want to get more of a breakdown, check out the watch along with myself, Vet, and RBV and Brandon, where we talk, about everything over there. But also, did you find it sort of surprising that Bianca took the pin? And not
No.
even, and no, you actually expect that?
No, because it made sense because what she did the whole time was very heelish, like
Well,
trying to
yeah.
help Iyo Sky get back up, and then she was going to try to take the win away from whoever was going to do the move, and then of course Iyo Sky hit her while she was trying to pin Rhea, so she got her comeuppance.
No, you're right. You're right. But it could have easily been Rhea too, but it doesn't matter at this point.
Yeah, it could have been any of those women could have won, and it would have been the right outcome.
He did get a pretty big pop, which not surprised me, but like, I don't know if she's the right person to actually be champion though right now, in my opinion. But nevertheless, I am a huge fan of hers. I'm just not sure I like the way, she became champion and just like that on Raw. You know what I'm saying?
No, it makes sense. But remember, Bianca was the one that helped her.
Oh, that's true. That's very true. Well, the artist return says Bianca is the least liked of three of them. So yeah, she ate it. But I'm surprised they broke her win streak at WrestleManias. Will any woman ever contend with Taker for that? Probably not,
No.
dude. Probably not. I mean, it's going to be many, many years if there's anyone.
It's going to be Jordan Grace, everyone.
Nah.
I'm
dude?
joking.
I know, but watching NXT here and there, and I watch Stand and Deliver, for example. You know what? She's still pretty green, dude. Honestly.
Well, here's the thing: she's learning the WWE way. Because if you looked at her Impact, she was really good. But of course, she's working with people that are probably not as good as people in WWE.
But also keep in mind the shows were hardly live, so they can edit shit and make things look a lot better for her. Do you know what I mean? And that really helps.
Yeah, but you also got to realize the pay-per-views where she had matches with Trinity at the time
As
were
you know,
really good as well too. So
yeah, surprising. I don't know, man. I need to see more. I've never been her biggest fan, man, but she hasn't proved anything to me just yet. But anyway, like Revamp says, can't spell dumbest without the EST. I mean, you're right. That's true.
I'm gonna tweet that at her today.
I dare you to. You'll get blocked for sure. Artist says Jordan should be Vader and be working stiff. Her and Jade. That's the matchup. Problem is, Artist, she looks small, dude, even compared to Jade. Like Jade just towers her in every sense. You know what I mean? And comes across more believable. That's another issue I've got with Jordan Grace. She seems too short.
That makes sense because she is the Oompa Loompa of women's wrestling. I should know because I am one.
Hey, that makes two of us, Scott. Don't worry. We can say whatever the fuck we want because we can. But anyway, let's go to the next matchup, shall we? Because next, and I feel bad for both these guys, but it's Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre in the Sin City Street Fight. I hate to say it, Scott, but this match stunk, bro.
I would have to disagree because I was looking at it as a match after having a really exciting match. This is a match that you had to slow down and kind of
totally. I get that.
And then of course, what they should have done was called it a Vegas street fight, so they could have gone outside the arena and do some stuff. But with how big the arena is, that would have been tough to do.
I'm glad you said that because we actually said that too on the watch along. I don't know if you're tuning in. I know you gave us a super sticker, which we appreciate. But we're saying the same thing. But the thing is, WWE haven't done that in many years, dude. I was actually bringing up. Do you remember St. Valentine's Massacre '99?
Yes.
It was Al Snow versus Hardcore Holly.
Yep.
And they took it to the river, to the Mississippi River, I think it was at the time.
Yep.
They were fighting in the water, dude. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But they don't do that anymore.
So often.
Sorry?
I was just saying that they should do that every so often, just to throw at the bone.
But they just won't. I just don't think they'll do it anymore, man. And on top of that, I feel like the pairing of these two were just thrown together because they got nothing to do for both of these guys. Like, where does Priest? Like, if you're and you're booking these two right now, right after this match, where do you put Drew or Priest at this point? Look, for me, Drew's got more of an upside. You can put him anywhere, but Priest, I'm a little worried for.
Here's what I would do with them. I would have them come out tonight and then both say, "Okay, we respect each other."
Okay.
Put them as a tag team and have them destroy the New Day.
Like a new, like, Twin Towers type of tag team?
Yes. And run that.
I like that.
Run that all summer.
I mean, but will they be happy with that type of booking? I feel like Drew wouldn't accept something like that.
Well, here's the thing. You can also have them both go after titles at the same time.
I'm laughing at Bruce's. Yeah, continue on, Scott.
It's easy booking 101. Have a tag team, but they also have individual belts. They've done it before with mixed quick tag teams.
So you're basically saying push them to the moon in every sense, including tag bouts, singles bouts?
Yep.
I don't know, man. I like the tag team idea.
But it doesn't necessarily mean that they get the belts. They just have those opportunities.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I'd go that far, but I do like that idea, though. I like the tag team idea because, you know, they need...
And during the summer, people are not going to really care that they're not in a title picture because it's summertime, because a lot of people will be not necessarily watching wrestling when it's nice out in certain states.
I know what you're saying. And plus, now we're going to get a bit of a lull period since it's after Mania, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And that always happens. But it's not really about the people, man. You don't want people thinking that way either, though. You want people to be invested into these guys.
Yeah, but
you know, they're not getting younger either.
Yeah, but the thing is that you can also make it entertaining with them on Twitter to get people.
Oh,
like,
dude,
like with
Drew is great. Drew knows what he's doing with social media.
And
Priest doesn't.
That he could also elevate Priest to another level as well by kind of mentoring him, like Taker did behind the scenes.
I hate how he does too much Taker stuff, though.
Yeah,
I'm talking about Priest.
One thing that he needs to stop is Taker.
He's got to stop that shit. He's got to stop it.
And stop using the Razor's Edge. If it's not
only because a lot of guys use it. You know what I mean? Like Sheamus uses it as well. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, see, you're right. I think Priest needs a little bit of a shake-up with his character a little bit. Not total. I'm not talking about his look. But just see, like Bruce is saying, the underfaker. A lot of people are like, you know, giving him shit over being a wannabe taker. Like he's a Team taker, like what's his name said? Drew McIntyre. And, you know, you got to move away from that a little bit, but
well, he needs
oh
to
my
move
God,
away
no
from
way
the Judgment Day
revamped.
look. He just needs to move away from the Judgment Day look, which is
right. I agree with that. Apparently, Revamp says he beat you to it with the tweet to Bianca Belair, and apparently she blocked him.
Oh, really?
No way, Revamp. That fucking quick. She blocked you. She saw it and blocked you. Damn, that's true. Oh my God.
If that's true, then wrestlers are really just do not understand the internet.
Oh, dude, I've been blocked by Kevin Owens as well over nothing, in my opinion. But whatever. Some people, you know, they say they're not self-conscious about their look and their weight and whatnot, but that's bullshit. They're so self-conscious, man. Because, you know, they prove me right every time by, like, for example, being blocked over nothing. Over a little joke because someone looks like someone. Do you know what I mean? But whatever. It is what it is. Wrestlers tend to be very, you know, insecure. The artist thinks, send them to NXT and let them beat everyone. Again, they're going to look at that as, you know, I don't think they would be happy, especially Drew. Drew would absolutely bitch about that. I've heard stories, like even when he was doing some indie shit down here in Australia, and I know some people that were part of the event, Drew felt like he had a bad match, right? For example. And do you know what he ended up doing in the back? He started throwing everything. He was angry. Even on a freaking shitty little Australian indie show, because he felt like he didn't deliver a good match, he was having a fit in the back. So I'm not sure
Yes.
he'd be cool with it. You know what I mean?
Some like with Drew, I understand that he has the passion, but sometimes he's just got to realize they all cannot be zingers.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, no one's perfect. No one can friggin' do a perfect friggin' match every match. No one's like Bret the Hitman Hart for crying out loud. I'm joking. Because, he thinks every match is like the best. And look, he's one of my favorites too. But, he was the excellence of execution per se. He was that good. But still, actually, speaking of Bret Hart, did you notice what he did to Triple H, man? Did you see that floating around?
Yes.
Oh,
He
that
needs to.
cringed me, dude.
Brett just needs to get over himself.
Oh,
I
dude,
really
I can't
think so.
believe it.
Because
I mean, what's his problem still?
He believed his own hype. That's the big problem. Because as Scott Hall says, he's a mark for himself.
Well, like the story goes, I'm glad you brought that up. Remember, he went to Bret Hart's house, and all he saw was shit, even in his bedroom, apparently, of just Bret. There was just Bret shit everywhere. Everywhere you looked, there was just Bret memorabilia, and that's what made him think he was such a mark because of that reason, which is kind of funny. But look, positively and negatively, that was a good thing about Bret taking shit seriously, though. That's what made him so good. But at the same time, you got to relax. You know what I mean? Stop taking yourself so seriously. It's just pro wrestling. It ain't freaking legit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it was nice to be at the Hall of Fame to see Bret Hart and Steve Austin accept that award.
Oh, speaking of Austin, man. First of all, he didn't change his clothes and had stains all over it from the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And to night one, right? Did you notice that? He had stains all over his blue shirt. If you remember, he was soaked at the Hall of Fame from the beers.
Yeah, in the crowd, I could not see it, so.
Yeah, well, that's true. But if you watch it, you got to see it, dude. It looks feral, man. It looks disgusting. But I laughed because I'm thinking this guy hasn't slept. He's probably been partying from the Hall of Fame into WrestleMania. And then on night two, did you notice what happened there with Stone Cold?
Yeah, I saw that on the big screen.
Oh, dude, Nick Khan was actually, after Austin done his thing, you see Nick Khan actually talking to those people that he apparently knocked just to smooth shit out. Because they could have a lawsuit on their hands after this, dude.
Yeah, I don't think Steve Austin needs to do that anymore.
He was drunk. He looked drunk, dude. Like, I'm not going to lie. He looked wasted. And he does that. He rammed the freaking barricade. Austin, calm the fuck down, bro. Please. You're going to cause WWE all sorts of friggin' problems. But still, we love him, I guess. Revamp says, I would have sued them. They probably will. Unless Nick Khan gave them all freebies, which I'm sure they would have offered. 100%. Zane Richard says, lawsuit 42125. Yeah, I just sued your ass, right? I'm just laughing at some of these comments. Cold-blooded says Don Stevens sabotaged the ATV. She might have. She might have indeed. Anyway, let's move on though, man. But that was funny and bad at the same time. As I was saying, Drew McIntyre does win though in the end via pinfall, via a Claymore into a chair. For me, I didn't enjoy it that much. It was kind of slow, but then again, you're right about how you're going to follow the matchup from the women, and you need to slow it down a bit. But then don't have a no disqualification match. You know what I mean? It could have been a normal match if it's going to be that way. And to be fair, this whole feud didn't really feel like a legit blood feud going into it.
No, it felt like a feud trying to be a feud.
Yeah, literally. That's a good point. Next, though, we've got the Intercontinental Championship match, and it's between Bron Breakker, your champion, versus Dominic Mysterio, Finn Balor, and, of course, Penta. And, oh, boy, did this drive some of our guys nuts while we're watching this.
Yeah,
I was happy personally for Dominic.
This is the match I actually missed because I had to use the restroom.
Oh, no way.
But I watched it on the app.
Oh, that's all right then. But, well, Dom, funny enough, gets the win. And were you happy for Dom? I actually was, but Vet went on a big rant. You guys got to check that out.
I might have to check that out. I'm happy for Dom. It was the right choice because I think they're going to do a Finn Dom feud during the summer.
look, if he was not Rey Mysterio's kid, okay, and let's be honest, there's quite a bit of nepotism going on here with this match.
Yep.
I've always vouched for Dom, legitimately. As a matter of fact, my very first show when I first started doing podcasting was with Kevin Castle. He was my first guest on my first show. And there's a little snippet online where we talk about Dominic, and this is from 5-6 years ago. This is when he was just first sort of getting a bit of it wasn't his first time in the ring, but he was starting to get spoken about a lot, like in a good way. But at the time, I was talking him up. A lot of people were shitting on me for it. But anyway, the point is, Kevin Castle was my very first guest host on my very first show on the PWC network. That actual video got over 20,000 views on YouTube. Can you believe that? And it was just about Dom. So that should tell you the interest level of even Dom in itself.
Yeah, I think if Dom didn't have was not related to Ray, he would still be where he's at.
You think so? But if you really
Yeah.
break it down, look at his look. He doesn't look masculine. Let's be honest, all right?
No,
he doesn't look like your typical wrestler.
Well, listen to my point. He has that cheesy that you want to see him get his ass looked, or not looked, but kicked by someone. And
That's true. I agree. Look, man, I'm on his side. I was saying
Yeah.
he's earned it, in my opinion. The vet says,
yeah,
it's nepotism.
well, I also think with him learning from Conan too, how to work.
For sure. And he's learned not just from Conan, but from all sorts of people, man. Like,
Yes,
he's had it good. But at the same time, would have
he
you
still
gotten
has-
this far?
He still has to put in the work.
That's true. I agree with you. Totally. I'm playing devil's advocate here. I'm going exactly what like the vet was pretty much saying, like he wouldn't get into it if he wasn't Ray's kid and blah blah blah. And I can understand where he's coming from too. But he's here now. That's all that matters, man.
Yeah,
And the fact that he's here, in my opinion, he's earned getting that Intercontinental Championship. And now I think the fans were even into it. Say what you want.
yeah.
The vet thinks he's got no charisma. Me personally, I think he's got somewhat charisma. Otherwise, he wouldn't be like doing what he's doing. At the end of the day, and I get what he said. He said his promos are nothing but boos from the crowd. I see where he's coming from, but he knows how to control the crowd. He's pretty mature too. He doesn't get rocked by it. So for me, that is he's got somewhat charisma. So I don't know. We can agree to disagree about that.
Well, he kind of has that deadpan charisma.
Right, it's true, but it doesn't matter though. At least he still got it though. That's the point.
Yeah. If you can work the crowd, you got it.
Absolutely,
Doesn't matter,
man.
Doesn't matter what anyone else feels. Sorry, vet, you're wrong on this.
If he's listening, and usually he does. I wonder
I
if
understand he's listening, but he's not part of this show right now.
he's not. But if he's listening, he'll let us know in the chat anyway. Labrat says Dom
is going to be better than his in about 5 minutes.
Oh. Well,
I'm
Labrat
just
says
joking, vet.
I
Love
know,
you, man.
he knows. Don't worry. It's all good. You can say whatever you want, Scott. It's all good. Labrat says Dom needs his own gimmick. Stop with the Eddie and Ray stuff. Get your own personality. Well, there's some heat right there from Labrat, and he's a Latino himself. So you don't like the lie, cheat, stealing type of deal there, Labrat? I'm just saying, which is pretty wrong when you really think about it.
What Dominic's gimmick is, I steal your girl.
Yeah, and he's more like the first version of Eddie Guerrero in WWE, like Latino heat
Yep.
per se, not the lie, cheat, stealing version that comes out with lowriders. But Kenny Heffen Power is saying Domi's a Latino cheat, a cheat code being Ray's boy, like Vet said. He isn't the worst part of the roster, though. That is for sure. You got to give him credit, man. At the end of the day, he's there. Everyone is right when you talk about Dom in that sense on both sides. The fact he is a nepo kid. Let's just be honest. But like I think Revamp said earlier, everyone's is a nepo kid, but some of them are actually good. Like Orton, for example, you can't deny him. You know what I mean? The Rock, you can't deny him. I mean, I could go on and on. Cody, you can't deny him either. These guys, regardless of their dads, would have gotten into the business anyway, man, and would have been great.
Heck, Roman Reigns is even a nepo.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let's be honest, he's way better than any of his dads or uncles, pretty much. I mean,
Yes.
come on. I feel like they're over. I hate to say this. I was always a fan of all the Samoans, but I feel like they overhype what Alpha and Sika were, for example, in the past.
Yeah.
Even Peter Maivia, whereas if you watched it from back then, they were good, but they were mid-card tag team level good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're pretty much correct on that. But greatness has to start from somewhere.
Oh, no, absolutely. And the fact that that's why they're great. I mean, because of their daddies, regardless, you know what I mean? Unrealistic Cliff Burton says H is a mark for himself. He tried big league Austin and Hart. There's backstage politics going on. Plus, there's still heat with Rock and H. They don't forget. The Rock and H stuff, it was a professional heat. You know, they're both on the rise. That's why they kind of had heat with each other. I wouldn't call it legit heat. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't personal.
No,
as far as Brett goes, sorry, Scott?
Oh, I was going to say with the Triple H and The Rock, they helped mate each other.
That's what I'm saying. It was professional. It was professional heat. It wasn't actual heat. You know what I mean? It was them fighting for that top spot. That's where the heat stems from. Just competitive heat, if you want to call it heat whatsoever. But as far as Brett goes, absolutely, there was heat back then, obviously because of Shawn Michaels and whatnot. But he's forgiven Shawn Michaels. You'd think at this point he would friggin' forget. There's racial heat too, actually, Zane. Not so much with Rock and Triple H, though. I wouldn't call that racial heat. Why? Because when they dressed up as the Nation, come on. You know, The Rock knew all that shit. But anyway, Brett is still bitter, you know, when it comes to Triple H, I guess. Maybe he was pissed off because they only got 2 minutes and he sat out there for friggin' over an hour. That's a possibility, so he's a bit moody. But the thing about Brett, he's the only guy that can say whatever the fuck he wants, even, you know, and still have a contract with WWE, because he'll go and do interviews and absolutely bury everyone in WWE still, and they won't care anymore. They just let him do it. That's just Brett being Brett to them.
Well, same with like Steve Austin will bury someone too every so often. Like, you guys are doing this way too much, and they don't do anything to him too. So
Austin's untouchable completely. You cannot touch Austin, man. I mean, he's the reason why WWE's where they're at right now. If it wasn't for Austin, it could have been WCW right now we're watching.
Well, I just think it's funny that he brought up Vince and people were like, ooh.
True.
It's
true, man.
You're always going to have to bring up Vince with WWE no matter what.
For sure, man. Kenny says he thinks that Brett isn't cool with Triple H because he's the one that was pushing. He can't leave with the title and getting the ball rolling to screw Brett over. He was never going to take the title to WCW. I agree with you. There was no way. He's not that type of guy. Even though we don't know him personally, Vince and all the guys couldn't possibly think that he was going to go to WCW with the championship. He's not that type of guy. There's no way he was going to do that. And I know deep down they knew that he wasn't going to do that, but they're using that as an excuse. Do you agree with that, Scott?
Well, it was Eric Bischoff at the time.
I know, but it doesn't matter how much money you would have offered. He would have offered Brett to do that. I'm telling you, he wouldn't have done it.
No, you're probably right. I'm just playing devil's advocate. Well, if Karrion Kross was around then, he would have told Brett to take them out.
In his ear, he'd probably like, "Come on, Brett, do it." No, but for real, he's a man of integrity, man. Like, he really is. Say what you want about Brett, man, but he truly is a man of integrity. He wouldn't have done that because for him, money wasn't even a thing, dude. And if you remember when he jumped to WCW, even though he didn't want to go there, he had the biggest contract in wrestling at that time. $9 million in the 90s, dude, for 3 years was huge.
Yep.
Huge.
And
Huge
Hogan
money for pro wrestling.
I just think it's funny Hogan was upset about that.
I'm sure he was. Actually, wasn't it in his contract that whoever got paid more, they had to bump up his contract as well, money wise? I'm pretty sure that was a clause.
Yeah. Well, him, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, all had those. And Sting, of course.
Yeah, but say what you want about Hall and Nash, but they're the ones that brought in guaranteed money too
Yep.
for the boys. So you can shit on them, but thanks to them.
Technically, Fake Diesel and
Oh, what a fucking idiots, dude. I remember during that time, man, as a kid, thinking, wow, that doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? I'm like, so what? Wait, Hall and Nash, but we're going to get Razor. And I truly thought, I wasn't expecting fake versions. Come on.
oh, I did.
Oh, really? I mean, how old were you back in 96?
I graduated from high school then.
What? You're older than me?
Yeah, I'm 48, dude.
No way, bro. You're
Yes.
48. You
Yes.
don't look it, man. I'm being honest. You look a lot younger than 48. I didn't expect that. I'm 42, man. You know what I mean? In 96, I was in the 8th grade. In 96, I was a little friggin', I was like, damn, Kenny, you graduated in 97? Wow, I'm feeling young again. Thanks, guys. Because I feel like I'm getting old, God damn it. I hate getting old. But anyway, interesting. I didn't know that, Scott. Thanks for that information, man. Anyway, everybody's got something to say about this. Kenny also said, right, Brett loved wrestling and it was his family and life. He would never have done that. Right. Exactly. I mean, we can talk about this forever. I mean, maybe we should do a show about Brett and his screw jobs, but that's for another time.
I would like to join that show with the vet so we can talk. I'll talk about it.
Okay, then we'll work that out for sure, man. I've been wanting. I'll talk to you off the air. Actually, I'll see if you're interested in something that I've got planned. But I'll let you know off the air, and we'll discuss it then. But anyway, Dominic Mysterio does win via pinfall with the frog splash, of course, on Braun Breaker, becoming your new WWE Intercontinental Champion, and everyone's happy, man. You know what I mean? So congratulations to Dom. In my opinion, he earned it. Let's see where we go from there with him. But next is Randy Orton versus the Mystery Man. And what can I say? Say his name and he appears, and my God, it was Joe Hendry. And I freaked out, dude. I didn't expect that. None of us did, to be fair. No one saw that one coming. But boy, did he get a pop. Boy, did everybody wave their hands.
Yep.
I just can't believe how popular this guy is.
Did you see the look on Randy Orton's face?
He was like, eh.
He's like, this kid's got something.
Look, man, I was expecting, honestly, this match, I was expecting one RKO and done. I was expecting it to be complete squash, and that would have been fine, man. Because he still gets the rub, regardless that he's TNA champion. Even if he got squashed, it wouldn't have affected him.
Here's the thing, what they did made sense, because Randy Orton's never seen it.
Well, yeah, never seen him.
Yeah. In storyline.
Right. I'm sure he would say he's heard of him.
But, like, he's never wrestled him, so... And he's a champion
that's
someplace
true.
else, and you're not going to bury the champion of someplace else that you're working with. And then you wouldn't have gotten the best moments of WrestleMania.
That was a moment, definitely, man. Like, that's going to be one of those moments.
That's going to be the moment of the year.
I'm trying to think. Well, yeah, probably. That or the Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman thing, they're going to be pushing a lot too.
Well, I'm thinking more viral moment is going to be that.
You know, I was looking at the video just before we started doing the show. He hasn't even hit 1 million yet, believe it or not, on YouTube, which is kind of surprising.
Yeah, well, the thing is, YouTube can be kind of weird, but what all the companies do is try to look at all the metrics from every place.
Well, yeah, of course. And I'm sure it should reach over 1 million. We'll see what happens. But what does this mean now for Hendry? I mean, obviously WWE so want to sign this guy. I feel like part of me feels that this TNA agreement, you know, and WWE agreement, you know, that working arrangement that they've got is also they can like use certain talent whenever they want, obviously, but also to get first dabs at like talent. Don't be surprised if TNA is what ECW was to WWE.
Oh,
if you remember what I'm talking about.
I think that's the agreement that they have.
So you think that the TNA eventually will be, well, should I say Anthem, will actually eventually get bought out by WWE?
No, the working agreement is that WWE will give them some money to keep on going, and then they can do the NXT TNA swap thing every year, where they bring them
Yeah,
in.
that's
So
part of it, for sure. Also, what Revamp says is to hinder AEW. There's some of that too, okay,
there's some of
but
that too, but a lot of it is companies that want to work with WWE right now.
and WWE never worked with anybody, to be fair. So this is a new era, especially with WWE. Even
Yeah,
though
and
they
I
have
think-
worked with companies in the past, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, they actually have, but
And
not
I
like
think-
this.
I think this working relationship has helped TNA more than AEW did.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're getting better houses. The ratings don't really matter, in my opinion, because they're on Access. And being on Access, they're not going to get anywhere. Like, let's be honest, Scott, they just won't.
But
You know,
their
being on
ratings
a network like
their,
that.
their ratings on the app that they have is better than Access.
What do you know the numbers roughly?
It's probably about 70,000.
70,000, man. They're not even 100,000 though. Like,
But that's still a lot for TNA, to be honest.
yeah, but if you think back to the Russo days, I mean, they got as high as 2.1.
Yeah, but they were also on FX at
That's
some
true.
point.
Or Fox. On Fox,
Yeah,
they
or
were at
Fox,
the time.
Fox Sports Net. So, and Spike TV, where if you look at it, traditional TV is dead.
Still, man, not even AEW's managed to do that. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. I'm
look,
just saying
I've
that-
always said, sorry, go on.
As everybody's talking about the ratings compared from then to now, you have more choices to watch things.
Yeah, I just feel like they need to just go. What's it called? Anthem owns Access, correct?
Yes, so they're not losing any money.
No, of course they're not. They're not losing money. I mean, look, to run a professional wrestling company, you're gonna lose money. But Anthem as a company, it reminds me of Ring of Honor and Sinclair when Sinclair
Yeah.
was running it. It was like a tax write-off all the time for Sinclair. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And I feel like that's basically what's going on with TNA. But I just want them to grow again. You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
they're going to be legitly try to fight for that number 2 spot with AEW, say, they need to get on a bigger platform. I don't know what that is, but it could be a streaming platform. It could be anything.
I think one thing that they, because I was part of the TNA Plus thing on YouTube, or their little like fan thing where you're able to watch the live shows on Thursdays. They need to bring that back to there instead of having their own app.
And they can make extra money on the side by doing that. That's why WWE's smart with what they're doing with WWE Vault channel and the WCW channel on there,
Yeah.
because they figured, someone said, oh shit, we could have made money on this shit by putting it on YouTube. And that's exactly what
I
they're
think
doing.
TNA needs to do the same thing.
I can see that. The Alice Return says it's like comparing the Jordan era versus LeBron era. Just don't make me laugh, artist. I hate everyone that says LeBron is better than Jordan. Get fucked. Anyone that thinks that. I'm just saying.
Yeah. There's guys
Please.
that weren't as good as Jordan that are still better than LeBron.
Man, don't even get me started on basketball right now, dude. I'm telling you, man. But yeah,
The
fuck
only guy
LeBron.
that's right now that is exciting in the NBA is Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of players that we can talk about right now. So I mean,
Yeah, we'll do that for
But-
Media Group NBA Inside Stuff thing.
yeah, true. We should probably start that with William Alasia because he's posting everything NBA related. It seems on the Media Group's groups
Yep.
on YouTube. But yeah, no, we can get into NBA one day. Maybe we do need to start an NBA channel over here. But anyway, what else is the chat saying? I just wanted to see because there was a few things. Revamp saying Ring of Honor was money laundering. Labra says Jordan busted open doors. LeBron just holding the doors open. And not just that, Jordan literally got eyeballs from all over the world watching because of Jordan. Jordan, as a celebrity and just as a well-known figure, He's probably the biggest celebrity of all time in sports. Like, especially at his peak when he was still playing. There is not one person in the world that wouldn't know who the fuck Michael Jordan was.
Okay.
That's how big he was.
Here's to end the argument of who's better, LeBron or Jordan. Who wears LeBron shoes?
Exactly. Exactly. You know what I mean? A lot of guys wear Kobe shoes, if anything. You know what I mean? That's if they're not wearing Jordan shoes. I'm just
they're
saying.
all Jordan shoes.
But right, they're all Jordan shoes anyway. Right, exactly. Exactly, man. I mean, who gets their own shoe like that? Everyone's got their own shoe, but I mean their own shoe company practically. Yes, Jordans are Nikes, but you get what I'm trying to say. But you know what? I was a Reebok guy always over. I never liked Jordan fucking sneakers, man, for some weird reason.
I had Jordans at one point.
Really? I never actually,
most
except for Jordan 1s.
The most comfortable shoe I have ever had.
Really? The Jordan 1s are the most uncomfortable shoe I've ever worn, actually, for playing sport. The ones.
I had it like, I think it was like the 5s back in the day.
Oh, the 5s are good, man. I don't mind the 5s. The 4s and 6s are my favorites. Maybe the 12s, too, out of the Jordans.
And I've seen Jordan play live 3 times, so.
Oh, bullshit. Oh, that's cool, man.
And a couple times it was against Kevin Garnett.
This is one of my pairs right here. These I use every day as for everyday shit, but I've got actually a few pairs of pumps that I don't really wear, but I tend to swap them around here and there. But those, man, they've lasted me for years, but they're so thick. But I'm a nostalgia guy too when it comes to shoes and sneakers in general. But anyway, let's not get into sneakers. We need to talk Mania. See how we just got off the subject there. Because everyone's starting to talk about it. Maybe we should do a sneaker show for crying out loud too. But anyway, where were we? Well, what match were we up to last? Oh yeah, it was Randy Orton and Hendry. And Orton does win via pinfall and via the RKO as they're celebrating in the ring. It was pretty obvious that he's going to give him another RKO, which he does. But nevertheless, he actually ends up, sort of thanking him. He did put him over. Joe Hendry does get the rub. Before I move on, though, Scott, excuse me. Oh, British Knights. Come on, bro. I hated British Knights, the BKs. Whatever happened to British Knights actually artists? Anyway, I heard rumors that it was supposed to be Hendry and Miz initially having a match at Mania, and apparently Hendry was the one that actually rebuffed it, ironically, if that's true. But thank God he did, because then they offered him Orton. So I would have gone with Orton any day. No, even though I think the Miz match would have been entertaining. Really? Well, that's what I heard.
Okay, so what I heard was after Kevin Owens' injury, that Randy Orton wanted Joe Hendry.
Okay, interesting. I heard opposite, but who knows? It's not like I know for sure. So, I mean...
From my sources...
It's not tomato sauces, is it, Scott?
What?
It's not tomato sauces, is it?
No,
or barbecue
but
sauces?
his initials are AP.
Really?
Yes.
I won't stooge you off there, Scott. But I think I've got an idea who you might be talking about. But anyway, I won't mention names, but interesting. Is he your boy, actually, Scotty?
I met him a couple times and we keep in touch.
Interesting. Oh, man, that's funny. Oh, anyway, let's move on. Let's see if the chat can guess it, but still. We get a recap of Triple A. Make na, that's what I say. With WWE's acquisition of Triple A or Triple A, as the Spanish like to call it. What do you make of that, actually, before I move on? Are you happy about that? This, for me, came out of the blue, dude.
It came out of the blue for me, too, but I think it's a good thing to help AAA keep... Because they've been losing money.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, but you know what? They do have Triple Mania, which is probably the biggest event in Mexico.
Yeah.
But what I find interesting is the fact that what happens with El Patron, or should I say Del Rio, he's their champion, is he not?
Yes.
will WWE keep him along? Because he's got a lot of, he's been doing a lot of stupidity, dude. Let's be honest. I just wonder if they're going to fire him.
Who knows? Because he's still a draw in Mexico.
Right. I mean,
And he and Triple H are kind of decent friends.
are they, though? That's what he says, but I don't believe a word that comes out of Del Rio's mouth, to be fair, man.
So half the things he says is true, half the things he says is false.
That's what I'm saying. He's known to lie, and he just comes across as the biggest cokehead, too, dude.
Well, there's a lot of cokeheads in Mexico, to be fair.
You said it. I didn't. I'm just saying. But anyway, look, man, I'm not in judge.
There is the cartels down there.
I know, of course. I mean, I don't know if the cartels run the promotions. I heard they don't run CMLL and AAA, but I wouldn't put it past them, dude. Yep. But I've heard some stories about guys that have worked in Mexico, put it that way. Funny what Artist says, though, because he's saying that his daughter still hates him for tearing up her sign at a house show. And Cena came out and defended her and gave her an armband. She still has it. Love her some Cena in this house and Kofi too. Nice. That's awesome. Awesome, man. Also, Labrat says, oops, I accidentally pressed my mouse there. If AAA stays in Mexico and not the US, Alberto is fine. Yeah, I'm intrigued, man. I'm intrigued. I just want to see what ends up happening with that. I just hope they don't actually kill it off. They say they're going to keep it doing its own thing in Mexico and whatnot. They did announce the Worlds Collide event also, which is kind of interesting. We'll see.
So do you think that once Ray retires, that he might help run AAA?
I mean, why not? I mean, bringing Conan even. I know he's more on the opposite side, but you could bring in a few guys, man. We'll see. I don't know who's going to be running it. As far as I know, we'll find out, obviously, but it could be still the same management for, right now. Like Cold Blooded says, dude, I thought that woman who was president of AAA or whatever was a corpse. I know what you're saying. Her and her husband originally used to own it. He passed away, and then she took over. She does look like a weird chick, I won't lie. I mean, she looks scary, to be honest, dude. I wouldn't fuck with her, that's for sure. Literally and figuratively, I wouldn't touch her, you know what I mean? She's one scary woman, but I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. Revamped also says, one of the reasons WWE don't go to Mexico much, but this opens doors and connections. I mean, they can cartels, of course. They can bring in their own coca. Zane says, don't disrespect her. Why, Zane? Why? Are you connected with AAA? Are we gonna call you the master and ruler of Mexico? Is that the new thing going on, Zane? Gross. God damn you, gross. Scary women are fun, Jimmy T. Maybe for you, my man, not for me. Keep them away. But anyway, any other things you want to say about AAA? Scotty?
I think that's about it with the AAA stuff. So let's go on to the next match.
Yeah, let's do that. Next is AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. Dude, I was bored out of my brains in this match, unfortunately. And I like the way both of these guys go. I just feel like these guys don't gel well. I don't like the finish. I don't like how Logan did the Styles clash. Just fuck. Yeah. I don't know, man. But I expected Logan Paul to actually get the win, as he did.
Well, I liked how they made AJ Styles look like a fool for not listening to Killer Cross, as I'm going to call it.
He needs that killer instinct from Killer Cross, you're saying there, Scotty?
Yes. Killer Cross, the puppet master who's made everyone turn heel.
I hope they go. I'm glad you brought up Killer Cross or Karrion Kross, whoever he's going to be right now, because you sent me a video. Everyone was sending me a video of this promo, which I still haven't checked out yet, which I will. But going by what you told me off the air, I'm excited. Are we getting Killer Kross now officially in WWE?
That's what I'm thinking with what he said and how he said it. And I also think that he's going to be the one that retires Bill Goldberg, because he brought up Bill Goldberg in the things talking about Bill Goldberg saying that he had to be a team player.
That's bizarre, dude. The fact that he just randomly brings up Goldberg is so bizarre, but it gets me excited if he's going to be Killer Cross again. I guess we're going to have to wait and see, because to be fair, Scott, he's been doing some great promos outside of WWE, if you noticed.
Yes. Yes.
But in WWE, yeah, it just doesn't come across like he's doing anything good. You know what I mean? Really. Does the company not see this shit?
I think this WrestleMania is a reset.
Man, this is his last chance. I hate to say it though. Like, if he doesn't, hit it out the park now, I don't know if WWE will give him another chance, because they're just letting him rot. You know what I'm saying? So let's just see.
He's going to hit it out of the park.
I hope so, because he's a good guy, man. I know he will. He's that good, man. He's absolutely that good. He's got the mind for the business too.
He has the mind for the business. The fact that I was able to talk to him a little bit this WrestleMania weekend was really freaking cool.
Yeah, he's very approachable, actually, man. I've spoken to him a lot of times. As a matter of fact, he's a fan of HMG stuff too, man. Believe it or not. And him and Kevin Castle, of course, were very close too.
I tagged him in my promoting of the show.
Awesome. Hey, you know what else I like him, man? He's actually got Greek in him, just like me. So there's that connection with him too, man. If you're listening, Kevin, hit it at the park, man. As Killer Cross, convince WWE to be Killer and not Karrion.
So did you see the shirt that I was wearing with Karrion Kross?
Right.
The OTC
well, I
shirt.
didn't pay notice to it properly, but what was the shirt?
OTC's, because Kevin Castle was a big Roman fan.
Oh yeah, he was. That's right. Don't you remember all those?
That on purpose, because I could not get the Kevin Castle shirt.
Did you speak to him about Kev at all by any chance? I'm talking about Killer.
Did. We both. And he just said he was a great guy.
Well, they used to talk on the phone quite often, dude. I think they spoke right before he passed as well, man. Yep. And he did reach out to Don Tony to send his condolences. That still hasn't sunk in with me, man. Because the last time I spoke to him was back in Feb, when he had that scare, if you remember, where he went to hospital. And that's what sucks even more. The fact that, he got warned to take his medications and whatnot. And for whatever reason, he decided not to take his medication. And that's how he kind of passed away, which it could have been all avoided, man.
Yes.
It is what it is, man. R.I.P. to Kevin Castle. But as far as Cross goes, man, I just hope he freaking kills it, man.
But I have a teaser for you.
Oh, tease me now, Scotty. Tell me.
An interview coming soon.
Really? With Cross?
I cannot confirm or deny that.
I like what you did there. Okay, but is this going to be WWE related, or is this with you related?
Just me.
Oh, dude. If you do it, if you do get that exclusive, I'll even give you the platforms if you need it.
Okay.
So put it that way. We can bring it over here, man. We can do it on HMG. We can do it on the PWCN channel, Attitude. I'm sure everybody would be absolutely happy for that, man. So if you do cue that up, feel free to tell me, man. I'll be more than happy to produce the show for you, man.
I definitely will, because I've been reaching out to people asking ideas how to do an interview. So
that's awesome, dude. That's actually awesome. If it happens, and he's very he's willing to do shit like that. So I think it'll be cool, man. He's a top guy, man. He's absolutely one of the best wrestlers in terms of personalities as a person around. Yeah. It's very rare to get a friendlier guy than him, man, because he's just as much of a fan as we all are, man. So yeah, but anyway, back to the Mania match. Where was I? Yeah, Logan Paul does win via the pulverizer, and it's 1-2-3, unfortunately for AJ. Look, the reason why I think it was you, artist, that was saying about the match was horrible, you said, and what is the deal with Logan Paul being put over? I get it in social media. Well, it's because of who he is, dude. I mean, they're playing the story that AJ is too old. Does he have it in him anymore? Maybe they're going to do some sort of Rocky story with him. Don't worry, AJ Styles will get his comeuppance in the end. It's not over. I guarantee it. This is what they're building to. Surely they're building to that.
He's going to do what Karrion Kross wanted him to do in the first place. That's the story.
Right. He dropped an F-bomb too during the match, and we all know that he's like, very Christian-esque, if you know what I mean. He's a good Christian boy who never swears.
Story. Why would he do that? It wasn't done. It was done intentionally, but people.
You think so?
Yes.
But he never drops F-bombs.
You got to start looking for these Easter eggs.
No, I know, and we said that. It's got to be intentionally, but at the same time, the thing about him, he would never swear regardless, even for storyline. Do you know what I mean? That's why it's a bit funny. But if that's the case, what sort of dark version of AJ are we going to get?
It's going to be a violent one.
Oh, geez, imagine that. Does he wear face paint?
No face paint. He's gonna have a more aggressive streak.
Well, I hope so. Well, let's see where we go from there. I'm sure we'll see what happens on Raw, hopefully. But yeah, till then, we'll find out. But next, let's go to the women's tag team match. It is Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria versus Judgment Day in Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, who were your WWE Women's Champions. Surprise, surprise, Scott. Becky's back. And unfortunately for Bayley, they kayfabed her out of the match. Like, she wasn't actually injured. They actually did the switcheroo for Becky to make the, no pun intended, by the way, because it's just switcheroo. Get it? You know what I mean? Because of her daughter. But, yeah, she's back. She looks great. She got a huge pop. And, of course, they're the new tag team women's champions. So I guess Becky's back full time.
Good for her. And I think this pairing makes more sense than Bayley. Character-wise.
Yeah, but look, why? Because they're both Irish women and stuff? Like, I mean, come on.
No, the fact that they teamed up before.
Yeah, but Bayley and Valkyria actually were pretty good as a team too.
Yeah.
I thought they had great chemistry, man. But it just feels like that they're doing everything possible to get Lyra over, though, because really she's very bland personality-wise. She can go in the ring, but she's got no real personality, and I feel like they're doing everything and anything to get her over, dude.
I think they brought her up way too soon.
You think so?
Yeah, because she could still work on her character work in NXT.
Oh, she's got no character. What is she, an owl? Ooh. Ooh. I mean, come on, dude. Like, what is she? Like, really, what is she?
Well, she has no character. That's why they need to go.
Exactly. She's nothing. That's my problem. She's nothing.
She needs to
At least
find
Becky.
the character.
Right. What can that possibly be, you think? What would you do with her?
I'm not sure. I would have to read more about like her history as a person and try to bring that out instead of like.
Well, apparently Becky did train her, according to Labrat.
Yeah.
So they've got that history. Artist says Valkyria won the title from Becky. That's the connection. Well, they've got more. They're both Irish. They both go way back. Becky trained her, so there's all sorts of connections. But for me, Rue was the show. It was actually the star between these three, especially at the WrestleMania press conference show afterwards. I don't know if you caught that, but the daughter's funny, man. She's going to be a talker when she gets older, that's for sure. But yeah, we got new tag champs. Sorry, Scott?
I might have to check that out.
Yeah, check it out. It started annoying Becky really bad, put it that way. It's pretty funny, dude. She was talking all the time, the whole time. Pretty cool, though. She's a cute little girl. But anyway, like I said, Becky and Lyra do become your new tag champs, winning by pinfall with a manhandle slam from Lynch onto Liv Morgan, becoming your new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. Before I move on, did you see the women at the nightclubs, bro? Especially Liv Morgan, bro. She looked like a piece of ham, literally. She was wearing like skirts with no underwear and shit like that. I'm like, what the fuck? And Lyra Valkyria is also another one. And Raquel Rodriguez wearing a mini skirt like that. I don't know, dude. Like, you got to check it out.
Well, I went on Thursday night. I went to that WrestleMania After Dark dinner party and then after party.
How much did that cost you, by the way, Scott? Just out of curiosity.
$200.
Wow, fuck me.
but
That
for-
steak better be good.
That was for both the after party and then the dinner thing. But the dinner thing
Oh,
was
that's all right then.
unlimited
Okay.
drinks, unlimited food.
Unlimited alcohol? Like, literally?
Yes,
Oh,
I had
wow. That's cool.
I had 7 vodka cranberries.
Yeah, I remember you texting me. I remember that. You must have been smashed, dude.
Nope.
Wow, look at this guy. He's Scotty the body for a reason. you can't freaking fuck this guy up.
No.
But because why?
One time for my birthday, I had 10 shots of Vieg and had to work the next day.
Oof. I remember those days, man, when I used to go clubbing on a Friday night, then having to work on a Saturday morning. I was toasted, dude. Like, oh my God.
12-hour shift, and I was there sober.
Wow. You must have a killer friggin' liver, dude, if you can't really feel it. I'm not a drinker, to be honest, though, man. I'm just...
Either my, I just do it like when I'm on the cruise, I'll drink because unlimited drink package. And then
I'd make the most of it too. Absolutely. You have to, man. Absolutely.
Yep.
Was it packed?
The first night really wasn't that packed, but Charlotte showed up and everyone was cheering her there.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, boy.
And
But what was up with Bianca? Yeah, I've heard she's a nice woman too, but
Yeah.
I feel she's condescending too, though, Scott.
I think she worries about what people think of her too much, and she needs to get rid of that.
Talk about insecure, dude. I mean, and I'm not hating on her. I'm just being honest, all right? She comes across as one of the most insecure people on the planet, especially considering she never needed to go so hard on the plastic surgery, man. She's fucked her look up now with all the plastic surgeries compared to before she started doing all that. She looks so much better, dude.
Yeah, that's because she has daddy issues.
You think so?
It's all because of her dad. You think all the drinking that he does doesn't put something in her mind that she starts questioning herself?
Oh, no, absolutely. Especially being Ric Flair's daughter.
Yeah.
I mean, and the amount of cheating that he was doing on her mum, for example, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, so it's one of those things that she wants to be Flair, but she doesn't want to become like her dad. But she's starting to become like her dad with
she's
certain
fucking
things.
starting to become like her dad. I'm sorry, not in the alcohol sense, but
No,
goddamn it, 3
but not
divorces
the
already,
alcohol.
bro.
Her thing is the plastic surgery.
Right, exactly. And it feels like she's punishing herself, man,
Yeah.
in some ways. And plus the divorces too, man.
Yep.
Like, what the hell? I'm sorry, but if you've had 3 divorces with 3 different people, there's a common denominator here, Scott. You know what I mean? And she seems to be that common person that, you know, it's not the boys, it's got to be her.
She did marry Bram once, remember that?
That's true. And I think, didn't he hit her or some shit?
Yes.
And the cops got involved and all sorts of shit happened, all these drama. Yeah, I remember all that.
From what I'm hearing with the Alberto Del Rio divorce, it was very amicable between them.
He loved her, dude. Andrade absolutely adored her, man, which I don't understand why. I used to say that as a joke because I don't find her attractive at all right now, dude. Like, and I felt like Andrade could have done so much better with a chick with looks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, he adored her, and she still divorced his ass. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you, girl?
She's insecure. She needs therapy.
Therapy, absolutely, 100%.
I'll be
You
her
nailed the
therapist.
head.
I'll be like, you need to stop worrying about what other people is.
When you say that, I'll start thinking other things there, Scott, but still.
That'll
be
too
funny
late for me, so.
I dare to, if you see her again, I dare to say it to her straight out. Say, listen, I can be your therapist. You know what I mean? She gets so offended probably. But still, oh man, that's pretty hilarious though. What, Zane, her first husband abused her too? Was it Bram her first or second at the time?
I'm not sure. I know that happened at one point.
That's true. That's true, man. Anyway, I hope you get that help you need, Charlotte, because I don't understand why you're tripping, but I get it. Anyway, let's move on though, man. Enough of Charlotte. But like I said, we got new women's tag team champions, but this next, before we get to the main event, we see Stone Cold coming out on a 4-wheeler. And it's best to say he was pretty drunk. At least he had a change of clothes this time. Must have gone to a local store and bought new clothes.
Maybe he was playing the new Mario Kart before it came out on Switch.
Maybe he was. I mean, as a matter of fact, you met him that day too, which was cool to see. How was he anyway? By the way, he's like, "God damn, I'm drunk."
No, he was good. It was just basically very quick because they do the lines really well.
Okay, so
But
they're just moving
but
along.
he said
moving
thank
on.
you for stopping by. Very
Give me
very
a
nice.
shell, yeah.
And I actually got like emotional after because I'm like I'm not gonna mark out. I'm not gonna mark out. But then they marked out after.
You fucking mark. You see, I did that for you, Zane.
Yeah.
I'm joking, but that's the thing
It's just one of
between
those
me
things.
and
It's
Zane.
like I never thought I would have met this guy.
Yeah, that would have been cool. I've never met Stone Cold, man. I've met a lot of wrestlers, but definitely not Stone Cold.
And
I think I would really mark out though to Vince. I don't usually mark out, but if I was to meet Vince McMahon, I know it's Vince and he's a piece of shit, literally, but he's got this aura where I'll be like, shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, I think that's the thing that certain wrestlers have the aura that other wrestlers don't.
yeah, absolutely, for sure. I mean,
And Steve Austin is one of those because it's
yeah, Austin's the man, dude. Like, you know what I mean? He's one of the, you can say Mount Rushmores of WWE, 100%, if not just
Yes.
WWE, but pro wrestling in general. You know what I mean? And to think about it, his run in WWE wasn't even that long, dude.
no for what he did for in that little time. In my opinion, makes him the GOAT. Just for
I
the
wouldn't,
fact,
he's not my GOAT. Look, I'll be honest, The Rock was my guy during the Attitude Era.
yeah,
And I was even NWO for life, first and foremost, like
yeah.
initially, you know what I mean? But I was always a Rock guy more than a Stone Cold guy. I don't know, man, at the time. I love Stone Cold, but he wasn't like my number one. All I gave a shit about was The Rock during the Attitude Era.
Well, what
And
I'm saying is that how much merch that he still sells
absolutely, dude.
compared to
Absolutely.
even to the NWO.
Even them, they're still top 10, believe it or not, in merch sales, man.
Yes, I'm just saying that Steve Austin is still up there in
Look,
sales. I
man, let's
don't
be
know how
honest.
many. I saw about 150 Steve Austin T-shirts.
Wow. Yeah. Well, yeah, for sure. I mean, look, let's be real. The Austin 316 shirt, the DX shirt, and the NWO shirt, red or black and white, for me, are the best wrestling shirts ever created, man. And they're simple. You know what I mean? You don't need to freaking have elaborate dogs or wolves or whatever the fuck on there. Just, they keep it simple, and that's why they're still, like, are selling like hotcakes, man. Just Austin 316, perfect. The NWO, perfect. To me, that's still the best shirt, like looking shirt, period. You know what I mean?
So funny.
I need new ones. Mine
So
don't fit me
tell-
anymore.
Let me tell you the story about. I was wearing an NWO shirt one time,
Okay.
and some guy's like, "Oh, is that the new Ministry shirt?"
What? Jesus. What,
Because
Ministry of Darkness?
No, Ministry, the band.
Are you serious, dude?
Yes, and I'm like, yes, you can. He's like, where can I get 'em? Like, you can buy it. Go buy it at a wrestling event.
How did they even make that connection, dude?
Because they were a metalhead, and the video for NWO by Ministry had just an NWO logo, but not like
But
the
not like
wrestling
that.
one. But I just thought
Oh,
that was
God.
hilarious.
No, that is funny, man. Oh yeah, but the Bullet Shop. Sorry, I just went tongue twisted there. But I saw the artist saying Bullet Club shirts are also for marks. Hey, see that Bullet Club thing in the background there? I don't know if you can see it, peeps. I got that off Temu for like $5. Not even. That's why, you know how big that thing is? No shit, off Temu for like $5. Temu Bullet Club right there.
So speaking of Bullet Club, I bought at WrestleMania store. They had a mystery box of the helmet
Oh, really?
signed by a mystery person.
And who? Well, do you know who it is?
Yes, I got it from. Mine is Tamatanga. Yee, 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 yee.
I love Tamatonga, man.
So
I
I
mean,
was happy to get that.
oh, for sure, man. I mean, I've met Kazuchika Okada, I've met freaking Tanahashi, and it's funny. I don't mark out for wrestlers, and I've met Sting, I've met Goldberg, I've met Rey Mysterio, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, most of the divas from back in the Attitude Era days. I mean, Booker T was my favorite experience, though. How did I forget that? Remember Chronic as well?
Yes.
From WCW's in Brian Adams and Brian Clark. They were cocksuckers, but that's another story. I've met a lot of wrestlers, but I've never ever, like, when I met the Japanese wrestlers, right, I wasn't sure how to react. I'm like, do I bow to him like an idiot? But then I feel like an idiot if I bow to him because it's not me. Like, how do I act? Because I never met, like, Japanese wrestlers before. In the end, it just, I went naturally. Whatever happens, happens. And I did end up bowing because they're bowing. Because you know how they are, right? So,
Yeah, I did that with Asuka and Shinsuke. I bowed to them before.
Because they grab your hand, like, your hands and literally, like, bow. And so it's like, you got to give them that respect too. But, yeah. It's just weird at the time. But Tanahashi was the best dude, man. Okada, believe it or not, he was trying to work me big time. Playing dumb and shit. I'm like, all right, Kazuchika. But yeah, I've got the pictures. But Booker T was the best by far for me. I've had a few wrestlers even, like, see, back then, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, they used to really kayfabe you. Like, the heels will tell you to fuck off, man. Like, legitimately. And I was getting that by all the heels, like by Scott Steiner. Even Shane Douglas actually would totally ignore me. And I'm like, fuck you. He still didn't turn around. Like, it was just weird. But now that I think back on it, instead of being offended, I think, you know what? They were all heels that was ignoring me.
Yep.
You know what I mean? They were probably just playing up on it. So they don't do that anymore, and that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Anywho, let's get into the main event, shall we? Because, and before that, we do see Shawn Michaels, of course, and Austin, ramming people. I don't know if they're going to get sued, but like I was saying earlier, I guess we'll find out. But total combined nights of night 1 and 2, the crowd was 124,693. I mean, that's huge, dude, for a place that holds 65, I think, capacity.
Yeah.
That's good for them. But did they give out a lot of comp tickets, you think, Scott?
No.
You don't think so? So you think there was a lot of walk-ins, like, right at the end?
There was a lot of walk-ins because I know a lot of people there that were waiting for the prices to drop, and known about 1,000 people that walked in and got tickets.
Did the
And you got
prices
really good
drop?
price- Yeah. That's a
Oh,
lot
they
of people.
did?
Yep.
By how much, do you know?
They dropped about like 300.
Really? That's a
Like
lot,
300
dude.
from like where they were sitting, it was like 1,000, dropped down to 700, and they're like, "Yep, we can do it."
Wow. See, I hate that when they do, especially like, guys like you that pay top dollar. Just say, and then you find out friggin' like, I know it probably doesn't bother you, but it would bother me, man.
Well, they weren't sitting where I was sitting though either.
But that's true too. That's also true, man. But still, man, like, I see you made a new friend too, by the way, Scott.
Yes, she was very.
She
very
was hot,
cool.
dude.
Very hot.
Tell
and
me-
very.
Did you get her number?
We're friends on Facebook,
Oh, that's all right. That's all right then. You're
And
lucky.
she
You're
has
lucky
a-
you said that.
and she actually wrote a book too, like a
Really?
horror book. So,
She's one of those chicks, huh? Oof.
yep, and
Careful.
big Alice Cooper fan.
Oh no, she's definitely a horror chick, that's for sure.
Yes,
I can't
But
believe
too
he's
young
still
for-
going.
too young for me though. So,
Well, how old was she?
22.
22, and she's into Alice Cooper?
Yes.
Wow, that's even more weird in some ways. You know what? Hey, man, she's 22. Who gives a fuck? She's not. It's
No,
not
but-
pedo shit. Come on, man.
No, but we are wheelchair buddies. So,
Hey, yeah, you said that, but that's cool too. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, come on, jeez.
well, I just like meeting new people. The fact that I met like O'Shea is freaking cool. It's just like just amazing that I met like a whole bunch of people. I don't know if you ever seen those two twins that do like YouTube things.
Yeah.
I forgot what their names. I met them too.
They were there?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Well, Groove says, Scott, that's called legal. Kenny F. and Powell says, 22, that's Mino back to the pond with her. God, you're a prick, Kenny. Labrat says, Scott, did you see the seats on stage? If you could see, was the pyro right in front of them?
I'm not sure. Couldn't see
Sorry,
that.
what'd you
The
s-
seats.
Okay, so you couldn't tell?
Yeah, I could not tell.
Okay. The artist return says 22. I got a pair of shorts older than her and more reliable. You know what's fucked up? So do I. Oh man, that deserves one of these ones. I swear to God, I've got a fucking pair of something fucking that's older than her too, but that's crazy. And more reliable. I like that. That's a pop from me. Sorry, Scott, but that was a good one, what he said. But
Yes.
we're getting old, man. We're getting too freaking old. But anyway, let's get into the main event, shall we? This had it all, Scott. It bored me to hell at first. It was overbooked. Let's be honest. It was way overbooked. Too many near finishes, as per usual. Cena, had to literally throw the kitchen sink to get the pin, including Travis Scott. We saw 1 attitude adjustment, 2 attitude adjustments, 3 attitude adjustments, 4 attitude adjustments, super attitude adjustments, 5 attitude. How many did it take, man?
Well,
Young as fuck. Please, thank you, Gross.
Here's the story behind that. Cena was basically fighting himself.
Yeah, you could say
protege.
that. Yeah, exactly.
And
they used to travel together, didn't they?
And he could not beat Cody without cheating.
Yeah, but it's Travis Scott, man. I don't care what anyone says. If The Rock came out fine, but
I'm talking with the belt.
okay, fine, and that's fine. I get it because he's a heel, right? So
Yep. And so I counted how many times he cheated was about 23. So 23 Make-A-Wish kids passed away during that match.
I don't want to laugh. Why are you making me laugh for, Scott? God damn it, man! I shouldn't be laughing at Make-A-Wish kids dying every day for crying out loud.
No,
Oh boy, we're gonna get heat.
You should have seen the people where I was sitting with, how much they were laughing. They couldn't stop.
Artists, don't make me do fucking the count. Literally, like 1, 2, 3.
One Make-A-Wish kid.
Oh boy, we're assholes, man. Sorry, Ben and Vince, if we're going too far. But anyway, they're cool.
Well, you got to realize Ben still does 9/11 jokes. So
I know, and that's why he keeps getting kicked off. Damn it, on freaking social media for no reason.
I make 9/11 jokes and I stay on.
Yeah, me too. Except for my Twitter is a whole different ball game. But anyway, that's not for here and there. Goose says, "Be a bully, don't be a star." That's WWE's motto. Actually, that's why I used to laugh when they used to have that "Be a Star" campaign, which is the biggest load of shit ever in WWE history. But It is what it is. Oh, the drumstick friggin' mascot killed it, dude. The drumstick mascot spoiled the ending. He was holding a championship bout with Cena plates on Thursday. Oh, interesting. That could be a coincidence. Actually, Labrat, I, by accident, asked AI who was going to win that match. It also said John Cena was going to win that match. So, conspiracy? I don't know. But speaking of drumsticks, they were all a bunch of drumsticks, those peeps. They were dressed as drumsticks and other things. They look like a bunch of idiots, man.
I didn't see that where I was.
Really? Have you watched it back yet since your...
No, I have not.
Okay, you're going to do so when you get home or anything like that?
Yes.
How long does it take you to get back to Minnesota from Vegas?
It'll be about 3.5 hours.
Okay, that's perfect. You could actually watch night one, say, perfectly fine. Yeah, definitely.
I visited my mom in Arizona first.
Yeah, you were saying that. I mean, geez, your mom living so far from where you are. I mean, how did that happen? Geez.
Well, she does that half of the year.
Oh, and then she comes back up to Minnesota?
Yeah.
Okay, and you were born and bred, obviously, in Minneapolis, right?
Well, Bloomington, Minnesota is where the Mall America is. First Nitro.
Oh, did you go to the first Nitro at the time?
No.
Oh, damn.
But
That's why you guys have also got kind of Canadian accents, right? No.
Yeah, don't you know we talk like this all the time? Don't you know?
I know. That's what I'm saying. But doesn't that bother you guys, especially that you guys are the Yanks and not Canadians, for crying out loud? You aren't Canucks, bro.
No, not really, because Canada's just Minnesota's hat.
Oh, gee, that Canadians, they're going to be burning. That's all right. They're going to become the 51st state or whatever. Like the joke has been going around, but you know what I mean. Kenny, though, says, happy for you, Scott. Sounds like you enjoyed your time. Of course, man. He's the man. He goes to all of them.
So I was going to tell you my flight from Arizona to Las Vegas was only an hour.
Oh, well, you're on the West Coast, so it makes total sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and Arizona's not that far.
But I've never been on a flight that short.
Neither have I, actually, now that I think about it. But yeah, I mean, that is short. I mean, imagine going from LA from LAX to Las Vegas.
Yes, that
would have been what, 20 minutes, probably 30 minutes, if that. I mean, shit. Was there a lot of people on the plane, mind you, while you were going to Vegas?
Yes, it was sold out.
Wow. So were they all Majority Mania people?
Half and half. Half
okay,
non.
Interesting. Did you gamble, by the way?
No, I did not.
Good man. You're a good man for doing that. The temptation would have been crazy. I mean, think about it. You know,
going to Vegas because people are crazy.
Well, you know what's cool about you guys, though, and I mean the whole US. I know there's casinos like in certain states, of course, right? But generally, you don't have like a casino down the block everywhere, right? Here, believe it or not, in Australia, especially where I'm from in Melbourne, is the only place in the world that there's mini casinos at every block, pretty much, right? And that is ridiculous. It's causing everybody to like go broke, dude. Like, look into it. You'll be shocked. It's the only place in the world where you can go anywhere. And we've got a big casino too, which is called Crown Casino, for example.
Yeah.
But 24/7, there's a whole bunch of little ones that people go and just lose their money, man. It is what it is. And I hate that about here, but it is what it is.
Well, let's start wrapping this up because I got to check out pretty soon.
Perfect, because I was about to wrap it up, and I was going to say to you, any last thoughts about the match anyway before we do wrap it up?
They booked it all wrong.
Would you say night one was better than night two overall?
Night two was better than night one, but they really booked the main event wrong with Travis.
It was
Scott.
overbooked, dude. That's why. Way overbooked.
And I wonder part of it because I don't think Cena has it anymore. Because it seemed like the match was too short, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from, man, for sure. And like Artist says, it was incomplete booking. There's a lot of things wrong, Artist, but I just want to say one more thing before we go. With Kenny F. and Powers, he says, tired of all the podcasts thinking I can't buy a razor in the store. My dick don't work, and that I'm a degenerate gambler. None of these things are true. I'll pretend I never read that. Groove says it's called self-control, Jimmy T. That's true, but when you've got it all around you, it's hard, dude. Believe me. It really is. Anyway, thank you, Labrat, of course. Before we go, anything you want to tell the people where they can find you, if anywhere, and if you're doing anything in the future, man?
I don't know all my handles already. I'm Scott Woodford on Facebook, and of course I'm got a friend request from a guy also named Scott Woodford from England. So
imposter.
No, he just saw my name. He's like, I have to become friends with you. So
I'm sure there's a million Woodfords all over the world, including here in Australia, in the US, in the UK. Woodford's almost like Smith. I hate to say it.
Yep. So I don't remember what my Twitter handle is or X handle.
Oh, that's fair enough. Well, you can follow me on the X at DJ Mass Effects, but I can't do anything. But I'm there, but I can't actually do anything. Pricks. Friggin' Elon. But anyway, well, if you want to follow me, as I said, at DJ Mass Effects, but most importantly, like and subscribe right here at Hamid Media Group's YouTube channel. Like and subscribe, share it, tell everybody. just get us out there, man. That'll be very much appreciated. Look out for the Monday locker room, though, with Bin Hamin, the Ayatollah himself, Yallah, and, of course, RBV, as I'm sure they'll be talking about all things Mania as well, and all the news in the world of professional wrestling. And also look out for I Like a Raw tomorrow with myself, Big Ray Hernandez, and even the Vet could be joining us, and Jargo could be on. It's going to be an all-star cast, as a matter of fact, Scott. So look out for that where we talk about Raw, and of course, I'm sure Ray's going to talk about WrestleMania and give his thoughts also. But in saying that, thank you to everyone that's actually joined us, man. Yalla, and we really appreciate it. And stop it, Gruz. I like my shit well done with barbecue sauce, all right? Screw you. I know, I'm getting heat for saying that. But anyway, I am Jimmy T. That is Scotty the Body Woodford. And you've been listening and watching the WrestleMania post-game show night 2 right here on Hamir Media Group's YouTube channel. And, of course, channelattitude.com after the fact. And we're out. Peace.
I put the bitch on the road, she tryna fuck on my old. I got this hoe with me, she tryna show me some. I got flaws for days, niggas ain't on nothing. Me and my brother like me, you know we on one. We in the spot going crazy until the sun up. You worried about that hoe done chose up. Pistols all in the kitchen, can't get the cold up. What the fuck, these niggas acting like they know it. Double O cat, this shit we told us. Switch out the bed, these niggas get rolled up. Everything hit, everything, everything.
This is Channel Attitude. Your voice, your right, your freedom.